Hi everybody, this is Kevin from Hideaway Homestead. We're going to be doing something new for us today. This is our first time breeding our pig, so we're going to try this and see how this works out. This is a bottle of spray that we bought. It's called, as you can see there, Hog Mate, and it's for gilts and sows. It's a boar odor spray that you can use. And what you do is you spray this a little bit in front of the pig's nose if you think she's in heat. And if she locks up, they call it, and stands still like a statue, then she's ready to be bred. And so this is going to be what we will use, and we think she probably is pretty much ready to be bred. We ordered our semen from a company called Shipleys Swine Genetics. We'll put a link to it down below so you can see it, and we also have a picture that we took of their catalog so you can see their website and all that sort of information, and you can contact them. They're a very good company to work with. They're very friendly, very knowledgeable, and they will answer any questions you have, and it doesn't matter how long you stay on the phone with them, they don't mind. They're out of Ohio, and they will answer anything you have to ask, and they will actually explain the whole process to you if you've never done it before, like we hadn't. I didn't have a clue what I was doing as far as this is concerned, and so I was asking all kinds of questions. And the guy's name is Randy, and he's a real nice guy. So we'll put the information down there for you to contact them. This is the box that we got with the boar semen in it, and this is all the stuff that came with it. It comes with a package of what they call rods, and there's 5 of them in the package, and you can get those. You don't have to get them if you don't need them. You can get them separate. We didn't have them, so we got those. Anyway, this is the box it came, and it's got this little padding stuff, I call it, in here, and you open it up and it has cold packs inside. There's a couple of these in here on top, and there's some others. And then the bottles themselves that has the semen in it, we got 2. And this is the one of them. And you can see it's got the name of the boar on the side of the bottle, so you know which one you got. And then it's also got some more cold packs down here underneath. This is how they package it, because they told me that it has to stay at least 64 degrees until you're ready to use it. When you order the semen, you have basically 24 hours, pretty much, window to get this done. So if you order your semen like on a Monday or something like that, they will ship it out and it will come to you the next day. They do that because you don't have but a very, like I said, a very small window in which to get this done, or she's going to be out of estrus. They're only in estrus about 5 days, but they only have a standing heat, as they call it, for about 24 hours, or maybe a little more than that, but usually not much more than that. So you've got the 24 hours that you've got to get that in there and taken care of, or she's going to start to go out, and then it's going to be another 21 days before she comes back into estrus again. So it's a very limited amount of time. So whenever you order that, you'll get it pretty quick. Whenever we ordered our semen, we ordered 2 doses. They suggest that you order 2 when you get them, because you have to do it again between 12 and 15 hours after the first dose just to make sure that it does take. So we ordered 2 doses, and because of time constraints and other stuff that we had going on, might point out that we did this on Christmas weekend. We actually did the first insemination Christmas Eve, and then the next one we tried to do the next day. We weren't able to do the second dose within the 12 to 15 hour window because it would have been like midnight when we were doing the second dose, and it was cold that night, and it was also raining. And so we didn't really want to be out there in the cold rain, in the dark, trying to do this, and it just would not have worked. So we waited until the next morning, and I think about 10 o'clock or somewhere around there the next morning, we attempted to do it, and she wasn't having any part of it. We used the spray to try to make her lock up and stand still, and she would just sniff it and grunt and walk away. She didn't want any part of it, and so we were not able to do the second dose. So we're hoping that because of the fact that she wouldn't let us do the second dose, maybe that was because she is pregnant. So we won't know whether she's pregnant or not until we wait the 21 days when she comes back into estrus again. One of the things that we learned also in this process is that you have to sort of isolate the gilt or the sow, whichever you're working with, from the other pigs. We've got other pigs in the pen with her, and as you can see in the video, they were just driving us nuts. They wouldn't stay out of the way, and they were trying to help, as I usually say. So the second time when we tried to do the second dose, we had a friend come over, our neighbor, and he was going to try to isolate the other pigs and keep them back out of the way so we could do that. But as it turned out, she wasn't having any part of it anyway, so it didn't really make any difference. So that's just something that we wanted to point out that you might want to keep in mind if you're doing it, to either isolate your pig away from everything else, or have somebody else to help you keep the other pigs back if that's what your situation is. We wanted to give you a follow-up on some activities that we had done here. The first time we tried to inseminate the pig, it didn't seem to work too good, didn't take. So what we did was we waited, and then when she came back into estrus again 21 days later, and we knew she was, we went ahead and hurried up and ordered the semen for the second dose so we could do it again. We ordered 2 doses because that's what they suggest you do, and we did the first dose and then waited a while, and it ended up being at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night before we were actually able to do that second dose. But we did do both of them. And the second time we did it, the second dose, it seemed to really take. We could tell a difference in how she accepted it when we put it in, and how she really just stood still and cooperated, I'd say, a whole lot better than she did the first time we ever did it. The first dose that we did that did not take was our first time doing it, and so we didn't really know a whole lot about what we were doing. We had seen the videos, and I had talked to the people at Shipleys about how to do it, and they gave me some instructions and stuff like that, and it did okay. But I think the second time around, we had a little bit better idea of what we were doing, and so it seemed to have gone a little better. So all that to say that if it's your first time doing this, don't be afraid to do it. Just jump in and do it. And that's the only way you can learn how to do it, really. And that's how we had to do it. We had to just order the stuff, get as much instruction as we could, watch videos and that sort of thing, and then just do it. And then the second time we did it, it seemed to have worked out well with the second dose. And like I said, we were out here at 9, 10 o'clock at night with lights. We had to actually hook lights up out by the pig pen so we could see what we were doing and get out there in the dark and do it. But when we did, it seemed to have really worked out well. Since then, she's come through where she should have had another cycle to come into estrus again, and she didn't. So she never came back into heat again. So we think that she's pretty much, we're convinced that she's pregnant. Or at least we're hoping so anyway. So right now we are sort of in the waiting period. And so we're waiting for the 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. That's the time period that pigs are pregnant, and then when they have the piglets. And so we're sort of waiting that out now. And so we're hoping that around the first part of May, somewhere around there, she should have piglets, and we'll see what happens. Sometime soon, we're going to be building a farrowing pen for her. We've actually already got started with it and putting a little bit of stuff up, and we don't want to get too carried away with it until we know for sure that she really is going to have the piglets. And so we have started to construct a little area that we can put her in, and it's real close to where the pen is that she's in now, and so she doesn't have very far to have to go to get her from one pen to the other. It's not easy moving a 300-pound pig where you want them to go. If they don't want to go, they just don't go. So we're trying to put this thing close to where she is already. And so we're hoping that we can get that finished up soon and have her moved into there when it gets closer to time for her to have the piglets. And so when time gets close to that, we'll probably make another video and post that so you can see how that process goes also. Thanks for joining us today here on Hideaway Homestead. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Tell your family and friends about us. Also, it would help us a great deal if you would share us on your other social media. So until next time, thanks for joining us here on Hideaway Homestead.